Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of The Bright Side of Life. I am your host, Melissa Bright, and today we have a very, very, very special guest joining us. We have Mr. Ken Honda, and he is a best selling author and money expert. And what he does is he shows people how to create a life of abundance by changing their relationship with money. His latest book is Happy Money: The Japanese Art of Making Peace with Your Money. Ken's books have seen sales surpassing over 8 million copies since 2001, teaching people to take control of their financial situation. So, without further ado, Ken, welcome to the bright side of life. How are you doing on your morning and my evening?
Hello, Melissa. This is so beautiful. This is your future. Your future looks very bright.
Yes, I love it. I
Yeah.
love the pun that you made. And this is actually for my listeners, this is our second conversation that I have had the opportunity to interview Ken. And last time I interviewed him, his energy, his calming presence is just, I love it. I can literally feel it all the way across from he's in Japan and I'm here, but I can feel his energy. And I'm just saying, it's amazing.
Thank you. I really enjoy being myself, and thank you so much for inviting me to your show. I feel always honored to be on somebody's show because it means a lot to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are very welcome. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Why don't we start with the basic question when people maybe heard me say
Hmm.
what your book title was, Happy Money? They might,
Yes.
what is that? So what is the difference between happy money and unhappy money?
So, happy money is money that makes you smile when you receive it. When you receive a check, happy money people say, "Wow, thank you." And then when they pay the bills, when they pay at the cashier, they say, "Thank you. That was a good meal. Thank you for the great service." And so they are always in appreciation mode. Whereas unhappy money people get irritated and squeezed when they receive a check. They feel like, oh, this is too small, and they start complaining about how little they get paid. And also, when they pay money, they get frustrated with the rising cost of electricity or the rent or the mortgage. And also, people feel frustrated and so bad about paying the bill. That is unhappy money.
Yes, and I love your story in your book, the beginning of how the woman just took your wallet and took out the bills and said
Yeah.
what this was. It was such a great example in
Uh-huh.
what you said. And people right now, as soon as you said what happy money was
Hmm.
or unhappy money was, they probably just then said, "Oh no." Or, "Oh, good, that's me.
Yes.
I enjoy doing that," or, "Oh, no, that's me. I fret, I stress out, I get sad about giving my money away because I don't have a lot of it." So, I wanna ask you, how can we invite more happy money into our lives so we don't feel like this is unhappy money?
So the key is you enjoy money no matter what. If you just welcome money and also enjoy money and let go of money easily, when the money goes, you can say, "Hey, thank you for staying with me. Come back with your friend." And if you can
Many
say that,
friends.
yeah, many friends. If you can say that, you feel very stress free. Money comes in and money goes out, but we tend to hold on to the money. It's as if you eat, but refuse to go to the bathroom. I'm not going to the bathroom, I'm not going to do number one or number two, I'm just holding it. It's so unhealthy. So by releasing well, you can eat, and you can eat well and release it. We are in the process of receiving food and releasing food. That is the basic of our health. Money, financial life is the same thing. Financial health comes from receiving it well and also releasing it well.
Okay. There's a couple things I have to work on because I'm more of the unhappy money part just because of, sometimes the stress around that.
Mm-hmm,
But with reading your book, it has opened my eyes to different ways to approach things like this because it's almost crucial because the way we are picturing it is kind of setting us up for failure
mm-hmm,
if you will.
mm-hmm,
um so then why don't we talk about, I guess if we had to label what I feel sometimes I'm in is this scarcity mindset.
mm-hmm,
So why don't we talk about the myth of scarcity because it's actually a myth.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, explain that for us.
Yeah, so scarcity mindset said I just for me in English word scarcity sounds like scarcity. You know,
Mm.
it's like Spider-Man or all those thing in the movies. There's a scary city where a hero comes in, right? And that's how it sounds to non-native speakers of English.
Mhm.
So in a scarcity people think there's not enough. You know, there's not enough food, there's not enough money, there's not enough opportunity. So you have to grab it and keep it. So even though the job you have doesn't serve you emotionally and financially, but since you're afraid of letting it go because you never get it again, you hold on to it. And when you take a look at relationship, private relationship, money and relationship are very similar.
Yep.
It's like you're in a bad relationship. He or she is not treating you well, but if you just let go of him or her, there will be nobody. You'll be left alone. So deep inside, she or he is not the right person, but you still hold on to the person. He or she could be abusive, cold, not nice, not generous with you, but you feel like desperate. That's what scarcity is made of. So if you're desperate and just afraid, you just fall into this scarcity.
Mm, yes. And one thing we need to realize, I guess, what happens when we've been in that mindset for so long that
Hmm.
it really is turned into this belief. Like,
Hmm.
even people hearing you right now can say, well, that sounds great for you, Ken. But that's not me,
Hmm.
nor is that ever going to be me.
Mm.
How can we get people to maybe shift their mindset a little bit?
So you always have a choice. You don't have to be super wealthy to have happy money in your pocket because it's just your mental attitude toward money.
Yep.
If your relationship is a healthy one, you can always appreciate it, even though the number is small. That means that when you receive a check next time, you can start appreciating all the people who gave you the money. And then, if you start appreciating, a lot of great things happen. Your clients feel appreciated, and they give you referrals. Your boss would feel appreciate you more if he or she gets appreciated. One of my students, who was a single mom, started appreciating her boss. She was always complaining about him because he doesn't appreciate her, but she realized she got a job even though she didn't have a college degree. So she could keep the job for more than 5 years.
Mhm.
And then she started showing her appreciation to her boss. In a matter of weeks and time, a month, very shortly after she started showing her appreciation, she got a big check and a raise. He forgot. He realized that he forgot to appreciate her presence. He took it for granted. And so her appreciation opened the door, opened the heart of her boss. And then, wow, I forgot to appreciate this person. So, and that doesn't limit to that a particular person. If you start appreciating, people appreciate back. People would say, like, I think you shouldn't be there. Just come to my division or come
Mhm.
work for me. So appreciation really shifts you inside, and then that will come out. If you're happier, happier people will hire you. They want to do, they want to work with you. So if you're always complaining mode, nobody wants to be around. So that is a key.
Mm, yes. So very true. Now, it almost sounds like appreciation and gratitude. Same thing, go hand in hand, would you say?
Yes, yes. So uh, i- in Japanese, thank you is arigato, which literally means it's impossible to be. So when somebody gives you a job, it's almost impossible. Out of 20,000 coaches, you chose me. Are you okay? You want to work with me? Amazing. So I appreciate Melissa because you chose me as a guest out of many thousands of people, right? So, and you found me from the back of the planet. That's like a miracle happened to me today. So this is such a beautiful and a sincere way of starting my day because I get to talk with you, and I also enjoy meeting people indirectly. But still, if you feel like, happy money, good idea, it doesn't cost you anything. Just thank you, thank your money. It'll definitely change your life.
Mm, yes, it will. And my followers know that I talk a lot about gratitude and
Yes.
thank you
Hmm.
because gratitude is the quickest way to abundance.
Yes.
It truly is. And if any of my listeners, if you haven't tried this, try it with anything. It doesn't even have to be money. It literally anything. Keep saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and see what changes for you.
Beautiful, Melissa. What you appreciate appreciates. It grows.
Yeah.
And so I always just encourage people, just give it a try. You're not going to lose anything. Maybe you lose a few breath, but that's it.
Yep, that's very true. Now, something you also say is that money isn't actually the problem here.
Hmm.
It's actually we're the problem.
Yes, it's us.
And people don't like hearing that. So, what do you mean by that?
So I always ask people, if money was, excuse me,
Yeah.
if money was a person, who would it be? I like the cup. It's a cute
It's
color.
my daughter's.
Nice. So if money was a person, who would it be? Money is a neutral thing, but it just shows who it is in a reflection of what you think the money is. For happy people, money can be a steward, money can be a tour guide, money can be an concierge at the front, right next to the front desk in a hotel. It will do anything for you. It's your best friend. It's just a friendly person. But if you don't have a good relationship with money, money can be a vicious, cold, mean, unkind person who looks like an assassin with a dark coat and a silhouette, maybe a gun hiding in his pocket. So like you feel always threatened by money. So money is neutral. It's just how you define it.
Yep. That's that was a big aha moment when I learned that. And I'm
Mhm.
like, wow, that's true. Money isn't bad. Money isn't good. I mean, it can be those things, but it's all how we relate and put meaning to that money is what is actually happening. Now, along with this conversation, where do we how do we form our ideas and meanings and beliefs about money? Where does this come from? Are we just born with these beliefs about
Mhm.
money?
So when we born and brought up, we
Mhm.
just found our teachers who are your parent. Could be your mom, dad, both. Maybe if you're born into a single family, single mom or father a household, there are some adults who kind of show you by their example. And then we didn't learn what they taught us. We learned how they treat money is. So if they have this concept that money is bad, we inherited it quickly, and then we learned from our brothers and sisters, older brothers and sisters, younger brothers and sisters. We learned from our gangs, in the grade school and junior high and
Mhm.
high school and college, and your colleagues. So you learned from the people you're surrounded with. So that's why kids of wealthy people happen to have wealthy mentality, where if you're born in brought up in a financially challenged area, you think there's not enough money, you have to go into a crime to get it. So
Right.
the concept of money is something you learned after you're born. But there is also one more element, that's who you are. And I've seen so many people, even though they are born and brought up in the same household, they have the same parent,
Yep.
they are in the same house, but still brothers and sisters. Think of your brothers and sisters, if you have any. They are just different from you
Yep.
about money. There are money makers, gamblers, warriors, savers, and spenders. So they're all different types of money personality types. So even though both of your parents are frugal, work for a government like teacher or police person,
Mhm.
your sister could be a spender. She thinks she's making $1 million. That's why she goes into debt. And then your brother ended up being a hippie, and another sister becomes a gambler. Or it's so interesting how we are brought up to a different ones.
Yeah. It's very interesting because like you said, everybody siblings can grow up in the same household and have two different views because maybe that family didn't have a lot of money. So
Mm-hmm.
one sibling just wants to save, 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 where the other sibling is, I'm going to spend it as fast as I can because I never had this kind of money when I was growing up. It's
Yeah.
just all how we relate to it. Now, this isn't one of the questions that's on here, but in your book, something
Mm-hmm.
that I really like, one of the chapters that you talk about money IQ and money EQ.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about those two and what they are?
So, money IQ is financial intelligence. A lot of North American teachers teach that's about investing, it's about tax laws, that's about how to increase your money, protect your asset, that sorts of things. But I found out in my 20s that even though the financially savvy, very smart people end up losing everything because they make a stupid mistakes emotionally. And so I realized that there is something called money EQ, money emotional intelligence. And that means that
Mhm.
they have their relationship uh, with money. If they have a good, healthy relationship, they have a strong base, they have a strong financial EQ. But if you don't have that, even though you make millions of dollars, if you have low money EQ, you could lose all the fortune in overnight. So I think money EQ is more important than money IQ.
Mm. Do you think that, of course, this is just an opinion, is there a way or like should we be teaching kids about money EQ more than money IQ?
Yeah, money IQ you can learn later,
Yeah.
but money EQ is the basis of your life.
Yeah.
So if you become a hoarder, even though you have the highest money IQ, that person cannot be happy. So
Mm.
you have to, or actually show your kids by your example. If you love money and if money loves you, your life is blessed. You do what you love and you receive lots of money, and then you can give away lots of money. You can spend lots of money however you want it, but in a healthy, happy way. So
Mm.
if you know how to do that, you become a master of money. So
Yeah.
if you have a high emotional EQ, you have no attachment to money because you can make a lot of money in 2 seconds. So money comes in. Uh, it's like you have a magic lamp right here, and then Ginny, can you bring me $1 million more? And then Ginny said, uh, as you wish. And then $1 million are in your bank account. If that could happen, you don't have to worry about money. You don't have to save money because money flows like air.
Mm. Yes. Something else you talked about in your book was, people always assume, I don't want to say always, people do assume though that the richest people in the world are the most happy,
Mm-hmm.
and the people that don't have a lot maybe are sad or depressed. But
Mm-hmm.
you have said that you have met many people that are millionaires, billionaires, and you've met people that live growing their own food, but you found that both can be happy. Can you kind of explain why that might be at two
It
different income levels?
Yeah, thank you. So it's how you relate to money. I've met a lot of happy millionaires too. Being a millionaire doesn't necessarily mean that you become unhappy. It's how
Mm.
you receive money. My mentor Wahei Takeda, uh, when he was alive, he made his fortune by selling cookies for babies.
Yeah.
So every cent he sells, he made him smile because that the money is a symbol of making any mothers and fathers, young fathers and mothers, very happy, and of course, babies very happy. The candies melt in your mouth, cookies. So and also he was very careful with the ingredients. So he made a fortune by making everybody happy. So if you gain wealth like that, you are a happy person. And so if you are in the flow of happy money, both coming in and going out, you can be very happy. So the good news is you don't have to be a millionaire or billionaire to be that person. So it's how you relate to money. And if you have a good relationship with money, money becomes air in your life. For a lot of people, money is ice. It's pointy, it's cold. If you
Mm.
hold onto it, you get a frozen bite. And money can be water in a warmer temperature, but it becomes a flood if it's too much, and if it becomes drought if it's too little. So you need management. So the ideal situation is that money becomes air for you. That
Mm.
means that it's everywhere. So when you wish it, you can breathe in as much as you want. Your neighbors are not going to complain you're sniffing too much air from this neighborhood. It's like everywhere. So people don't worry about if you're in the same room, unless you're in a submarine or something, or stuck in elevator. People
Yeah.
don't complain about you're breathing too much. So because it's abundant. So if your income exceeds a much higher than your living expenses, and if it lasts for more than 5 years, money starts to evaporate in your life. Money
Mm.
becomes invisible in your life. You don't have to worry about money. All the bills are taken care of, and then everything, the tax and everything is taken. Medical bills are taken care of. So money will evaporate, disappear from your life if you
Mm.
do it if you do it right.
Yep. That is so very true.
Hmm.
Now, let's talk about if there's a spiritual element to
Hmm.
money. Is
Yes.
is there one?
Yes, definitely. I teach about spiritual laws of money. at my retreat center. Actually, we finished last week.
Oh,
This is my favorite topic because spirituality and money is so fascinating. We are using a lot of spiritual money. So you can attract money by using sort of like a dark force energy,
yep.
by taking advantage of other people, by tricking other people. There are a lot of lawyers who specialize in that, or the marketers who do that. And also, they're a happy way of making money too. But
Mhm.
the interesting thing is that the way you attract money uh, changes your life. If you're attracting a lot of unhappy money, it's interesting. I've seen it all. It creates an accident in your life, and also it brings you sickness, and then I think it probably creates a blockage in your system or in your life. So
Mhm.
that's why easy money disappears fast
Yeah.
because you feel guilty about receiving easy money. That's why quick money, you want to spend it all.
Mm, yeah. So true. So true. And would you say that money is an energy, right? That's kind of like you were talking about that dark force or
Mhm.
a good money.
Yeah, so that's why like gangsters or the bad people, like drug dealers, they could attract a lot of money because it's energy. It's like magnet. If you have a strong magnet for money, if you want money so badly, the money gets attracted to them because money doesn't have any moral judgment if that person is a good person or not.
Yeah. And that's an important point to make because some people feel like I I I'm internally bad or they have this belief about themselves kind of pointing to myself like,
Hmm.
"Oh, I'm not worthy of enough money since I grew up without a lot, then I will just never be abundant in that regard." And it's not
Hmm.
true. But if I keep thinking that, I will keep creating the same reality.
Yeah, so if you think you're ugly, even though you're the most beautiful person, you you think you're ugly, so you end up being in a miserable situation.
Yep.
And when it comes to money, I used to have a client who says, "Ken, my debt gives me energy." So he doesn't want to pay back all the loan. He keeps a
Mhm.
little loan, so that gives him energy. But if you associate debt with energy, you you cannot stay away from debt forever.
Mm. Oh, yeah. That's a very good point. That is such a good point. If if somebody wants to today, if they have kind of just reconciled with themselves as okay, I kind of have some money beliefs that I think I might need or want to change.
Mhm.
Um where does one start? Where should one even begin to where does one start?
So I want you to start looking at money from a different perspective. So just go to a shopping mall and see how the money energy flows. And then if money was energy, what kind of energy is flowing through you? You bring it home. If you are doing what you don't like, you bring unhappy energy to your home. If you do what you love, you bring happy energy back to home. And when you spend it out of resentment if your money is unhappy money. And you can spend your money in a happy way, and you can bless people by spending your money if what you have is happy money. So feel the energy in your home, and also just look around. Your neighbors, even though they make the same amount of money, at your friend's house, happy money energy is flowing. Your family is laughing, smiling, not much stress. But if you have unhappy money, uh, the fights are happening more between
Yeah.
couples. You scold your kids more because you're unhappy, so you tend to let it out on your kids or your friends or you're complaining about life. If you do that, just it may be because of the unhappy energy that you bring into your home.
Mm.
So, by looking at energy, you realize you may want to change the energy you have. It's like a coat or a dress or shirt. You know, what kind of shirt do you want to wear? To me, a lot of people are wearing shirt that makes them feel miserable. You know, that doesn't look bright.
Mm-mm. Nope. So true. And I have been talking about on my podcast on social media a lot about the energy, that you put out, the energy that you receive. That's what you same thing here with money. It doesn't change for the topic. Same thing. If it's a
Hmm.
career, got to put good energy. You want a new home, money, relationship, anything.
Hmm.
You got to have the good energy so it flows back to
Yes.
you. All right. Well, what do we want to say? Like, what about people that are like really, really, really poor? Like single, either not saying that all single mothers are poor, but
Hmm.
if there's a struggling single mom or even homeless people, um, it's one thing to talk about shifting happy money, but what about the people that are truly struggling to survive just day to day? What kind of things would you say to them?
So for them, they need help. They need a social help. Uh, the society has to have the right system to be able to
Mm,
help those people because oftentimes they're in a desperate mode. You know, they feel there's no hope.
right.
So if you're in the situation, you have to be courageous to ask for help.
Mm,
And then if you ask for help, you may not get it, but oftentimes people are more generous than you think. So I was in the United States many years ago when I was 19 to 20. It was in the 80s. I depended on American people's generosity.
mm,
I started from Boston. I ended up in Florida. And in between, I asked people to let me stay for a few days or a week. And they introduced their friends. And then they were kind enough to let me stay. So the whole entire year, I didn't have to spend any money, and I lived on simply on people's generosity.
wow.
I did that for 1 year from when I was 19 to 20. That's why I'm not afraid of losing money. I have no debt, so I'm not worrying about bankruptcy. But even if somebody takes all my money away, I'm not afraid because I know I have more than 50 friends to count on.
Mm,
So for the first week, I can come to my friend and say, "Can I stay with you for a week?" And then my second friend, second week. There are 52 weeks in a year. So after about 50 friends, you can come back to your friend number one. Hey, it's been a year. How are you? And then, can I stay with you one more week? You know, and if you have enough friends, you know, you could have 10 friends who let you stay for a month. That does the same thing. So
yeah.
that means even if broke, if you have a good relationship or relationships with friends and others, and feel vulnerable to ask for help, people are very kind. So please don't lose hope because you know anybody experience ups and downs, and you could
Mhm.
be down, but with people's help, you can bounce back. So it could be a temporary situation. So don't think it's going to stay permanent. And after that, you'll be amazed how many opportunities are given to you. But you cannot see it unless you're open to it.
Mm. So I have a story about that where I had to ask for help. My car was stolen at the end of April of this year
Wow.
out of the back of my apartment right behind me because there's a big situation in the United States where people are stealing Hyundais and Kia cars because
Oh,
they're so easy to steal.
oh,
So my car was stolen because it was a Hyundai,
mm,
and I was not in the financial opportunity to get a new car, to add another car payment, and I did have to ask for help, and that was really hard for me to put my pride aside,
mm-hmm,
and ask for help. Now, I don't yet have a new car, but I've had people help me and contribute to my car fund, if you will.
mm,
And I knew just putting myself out there and asking for help. A lot of people said that it was a very courageous thing to do because a lot of people don't, it's a very vulnerable thing to do. And some of the people that donated, it was just amazing to see the people that will really rally around you, whether it's a stolen car or whatever. You know, when I see homeless people on the street, I try to help them as much as I possibly can, whether it's a bottle of water. For Thanksgiving, I made them all cookies and I drove around passing out cookies to people. Um, but I guess the point I want to make is it's such a key to be courageous and help, because people do really want to help, but if they don't know, they can't help you,
yeah.
you know?
So the first rule of financial EQ is receive.
Mm,
So if you're willing to receive, uh, receiving opens new doors of abundance. But
yep.
we are so afraid of asking, and also we are so afraid of receiving. You know, we have a PhD in giving, but we are at kindergarten level in receiving.
Yeah. We really are. And that's why we need to twist it, because that's how I got over my fear, was
Hmm.
because I don't judge anybody. If they are homeless on the street, I'm happy to help them. If it's a friend's house that burnt down, I'm happy to give her money. If it's a medical issue, I'm happy to do that. So then why would I feel some type of way when I am in a desperate situation, you know?
Yes.
And it was a very, very beautiful thing to see the people that wanted to help me. It,
Hmm.
it was
Beautiful.
truly incredible.
Beautiful. Good for you. And you're such a great teacher and example. That's why you're so popular. You're so authentic, and you're so bright. You know, that's you're just shining the whole world.
Well, that is one of the sweetest compliments I've ever heard, and I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, it's so beautiful to watch you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Ken, we have covered a lot of topics here today. Is
Yes,
there,
you've been asking great questions.
well, thank you. Is there any component that you feel like maybe we haven't talked that we should have talked about, or have we kind of touched on a lot of good points that people feel like maybe after this interview they have a good starting place of where to go?
Okay, so I was just talking about the beginner level of happy money, right?
Mhm.
And I used to teach how to become financially independent. You know, I became financially independent when I was 29.
Yep.
So that's my another expertise that I haven't really shared with English speaking people. So
Mm.
I have written more than 20 books on how to find your gifts and how to monetize them. So my national books bestseller titled "Do What You Love and Make Sure Money Follows You." You know, in there in the book, it's not in English yet. I just want to share some ideas. You have
Yeah.
to find what you're very good at, what you're truly gifted, and if you can find it and polish it and make it available for people, that would draw a lot of happy money. So for me, speaking and writing. I'm a better speaker than a writer, but I write my book as if I'm speaking, so it works. So
Yes.
you know, I started from giving away my booklets for three of my friends. That's the beginning of the whole thing, and the by word of mouth, my booklets were out. The first copy is 3,000, and then another 5,000, another 3,000. And the publisher called me and asked me to write a book, and my book sales are reaching 9 million copies now, which is amazing. So I found what I truly passionate about, and I am very, very good at what I teach. And also, I have impacted millions of people's lives, and some people took their companies to public. Some people started the store, and now they have like 25 stores nationwide or 300 stores nationwide. I've been doing this for the past 20 years. So I have seen people like explode when they found that they're what they're good at. So please find your true calling, what you're good at, what you can serve. And if you find that for the rest of your life, you don't have to work because what you do brings you joy. So you don't feel like working anymore. And then brings in lots of money and the more money that you can spend on. And if you have more than enough, I hope you start helping other people. And that's what I'm good at, and that's why I'm so happy to share. I'm happy to share my knowledge, but I'm also happy to share my money too, because I have more than enough. I have more than enough for the rest of my life, my family. So this is fun. Uh, Share knowledge.
This is fun.
share money. Yeah, I mean, if you have a lot of money, you can, because money. If you give money, that is a bigger impact than anything else.
Yeah.
If you do it right.
Yep.
So I want you to feel abundant already, and then if you become truly abundant, promise me that you do just take advantage of being wealthy. And I have trained so many people who are happy and wealthy.
That was a beautiful, beautiful message. And I hope everybody that's listening can find what truly brings them joy and happiness and passion and purpose, because I feel like podcast and me helping and talking and having conversations, I love it. I could do it
Mhm.
every day,
Beautiful.
all day.
Great. You're on the right track.
Yes, I am. Well, Ken, before we go, if people do want to personally work with you or find out more about he didn't mention it, but he has 50 books. People,
Hmm.
they're not all English translated yet, but that's how many
Hmm.
books he has written. A lot.
Yes. And you can find all the information at kenhonda.com, Ken, and Honda as in a car, kenhonda.com. And I have this international community called Arigato Living Community, where people from 20 different countries get together once a month. And I share about the knowledge of happy money and how to monetize them. And I do a lot of Q&As. And I'm traveling a lot. I'm going to Europe next week and spend 3 weeks lecturing around 5 different cities. And I hope when my visa situation is clear, I want to start teaching in North America too. So I hope to see you somewhere. That's my passion. I have done enough teaching in Japan, so I will just explore more. And sometimes my workshops are free. Sometimes people charge. I don't really care. I won't be there. I won't be there to able to just share what I know because this is my true passion.
Yeah. Well, you're invited over here whenever you want, and you can come back and see the arch.
Yes, definitely, and I'm sure it hasn't moved an inch.
Nope. I don't think it has. I don't think it has. Well, Ken, I have one more question to ask you.
Yes.
And I ask all of my guests this. In your own words, what does the bright side of life mean to you?
That's a very beautiful question, and it seems like the right person is asking me. So for me, I think believing other people, believing a better future is the bright side of life. Because we have always a choice. We always have a choice. If we choose to look at a brighter side of life, it brings hope. So I hope. I don't know where your situation is, but if you can see the bright side of life, that will shift you toward a happier life. So I think that's what you do. And I think that's what you're good at. So keep blessing the world, keep shining the world.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so, so much for your
Thank you,
time. I
everyone. Thank you.
greatly appreciate it. This has been wonderful. And who knows, I'll probably be seeing you in the future, interviewing you for another summit, and we'll just become best of friends.
Yes, yes. And I look forward to seeing you in person too.
Yes, absolutely.